So today I'll be reviewing The Northman, starring Alexander Skarsgård, the brother of the famous Bill Skarsgård, most notably as Stephen King's It. The movie that I would most likely compare this to is Braveheart. This movie begins with our main character's father returning back from his voyage or wherever he was and greeting his wife, Queen Gundren, and his kid Omelette. This is the start to many weird scenes of this movie with Omelette and his father, King Arvindil. I hope I'm saying that right. And they are doing some kind of weird ritual in a cave in front of fire, and they are moving and acting like dogs and licking bowls of water on the ground. Yeah, it's just a weird scene. William Dafoe's character is there as Hymir the Fool, and one of the problems I had with this movie is that you have an actor like him who has a fan base and is never used. He's in the first 10 minutes of the film and never appears again after that. The ritual they are doing is a pledge that Omelette will avenge his father and free his mother if his father is ever killed. Not long after that, Omelette and the king are outside, and out of nowhere the king gets shot with an arrow and is being attacked, and Omelette runs away. The person leading this attack is no other than his brother, who greeted him as he returned back from his trip. The king assures his brother that he will be avenged and that his kingdom will fall. His brother doesn't seem to care and slices his head off and sends his men after Omelette. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I don't know if it's omelet, like, with eggs that you eat for breakfast. I don't know. But anyways, we are now with grown-up Omelette, and he is also doing a ritual, it seems, and he's growling and is wearing wolf skin. He then leads a charge against a village with his brutal methods. Once they win, they carry the residents and burn down their houses. Yeah, this movie is not kind to those who are squeamish. He then visits a witch that reminds him what his mission is, that he needs to avenge the death of his father, and then vanishes. So there are definitely some weird and dark magic happening, as we can see with the rituals and now this. He sneaks aboard a ship carrying a small group of people, where he locks eyes with one of our main characters, who's named Olga, apparently. When I watched this movie, I honestly had no idea what the names of any of the characters were. She then reveals to him that she knows that he does not belong there with the rest of them, and for whatever reason, they are just the best of friends minutes later. He tells her as they get off the boat and are shackled that he has come to the island to get revenge on his father's murderer. When the group of people get to their destination, they are being sold as slaves, and the guy buying them is no other than the king's brother, who Omelette has been searching for. Once they are sold, they get right to work, and Omelette discovers that not only is his father's killer there, but also his mother, too, who does not recognize him. Later that night, he follows a wolf to a cave, where a mysterious man has the head of his father, and says to him that he has a sword for him that is as sharp as a dragon's fang, and never becomes dull. So I guess whoever these weird beings are know what his mission is, and are on his side to help him fulfill it. The next scene, he is fighting a dead soldier for the blade, and Omelette defeats him, but then it just turns out that it was in his head and takes the sword. He is just about to kill his father's murderer, but then loses the opportunity. We see this happen a lot, but anyways. The family of the small village puts on a game for entertainment and has Omelette on a team. The aim of the game seems to be to smack a ball and have it hit a stick. The son of our killer seems to think it's a good idea to join in and gets absolutely bodied by one of the guys, and Omelette jumps on top of the guy and starts beating the crap out of him. It's truly a bizarre scene. The kid's brother seems to be glad that Omelette did that and promotes him to be commanding slave and lets him pick out a woman for himself. That night, Omelette sneaks into a hut and kills the guards, and that morning he has them cut up into a shape of a horse, it looks like. The family thinks that a sacrifice ought to be made and strings up a woman as their sacrifice. Omelette starts howling, and that gets our murderer's dog to attack him, but he puts his dog down, which was a very sad thing to watch. Everyone except for the slaves rally looking for this murderer, but they fail. The next morning, the family has all the slaves become guards now for them, as if that is a good idea in any situation. Omelette makes his move that night and kills a man, along with a guard stabbing himself, which I can only believe to be dark magic that was used earlier in the movie. Omelette flees and finds his mother in a room and reveals to her that she is her son. And she reveals that she begged the king's brother to kill him, his father I mean, and that she never loved Omelette's father. The shocking truth has Omelette run away and kill one of the sons while he is sleeping. The boy's heart is ripped out, and his father, the murderer, the brother of the king that he killed, lines up the slaves and just randomly kills a few of them until Amit yells at him to stop. He has a pretty good fight that seems to be going into his favor, and then just gets distracted and beaten up and gets strung up and beaten again. The father's son that Amit murdered wants to know where his son's heart is for whatever reason, but Amit doesn't comply. He gets released by birds that peck at the rope. I swear that this movie is so weird I can't even explain it. But anyways, later the family's doing yet another ritual for the dead son this time and kills a woman as sacrifice, and the brother's son kills his brother's horse. Yeah, this movie ain't playing. Amit and the slave girl from earlier get on a boat to escape, and Amit finds out that she is pregnant, but he tells her that he must fulfill his promise and jumps out of the boat. He swings back to shore. Back to shore, and that night sneaks into the small village again and kills more guards like you do. Sets the rest of the slaves free and is surprised by his mother that tries to kill him, but he ain't buying that and stabs her, and the little kid who is hacking at his shoulder, he stabs him too. And finally meets once again his main enemy. The guy who killed Amit's father is apparently named Fang, so Fang tells him that he will meet him at Hell's Gate and carries his dead family away with him. Amit arrives to Hell's Gate, which is a volcano, and he walks past his dead mother and her kid and walks to the top. He is then confronted by Fang, and after some fighting, Fang seems to have defeated Amit, but allows him to get back up, and Amit slices his head off just like what Fang did to his father, and Amit falls down to the ground and dies from all the blood loss. Can I just say that the ending was probably the best ending to a movie I've seen all year? The viewers are left to wonder who the actual hero was of the film, and Fang seems to be more of the hero, even though he did kill Amit's father. Amit killed a lot more people than him, including a kid and his own mother. So we get a movie where our villain is actually our hero, and the main character is kind of the villain. I have nothing negative to say about this movie, honestly, except for the Willem Dafoe being criminally underused part. I thought that our main character and the bad guy were perfect, and the shocking reveals that the movie gave us, including the weird scenes involving the rituals, which were very odd for me. So this is definitely a good movie for anyone into Viking movies or just any medieval movies. I'm giving this movie an 8 out of 10. Please don't forget to subscribe and like, and that's all for me, and goodbye.